Let's do this.
Welcome back, family. We're at Tio Mohana here. I'm your host, Rich, and we're going to be looking at the cover price top 20 for the week ending. What the heck is today's date? October. No, that's the second time it's August 26th, 2024. And yes, I just realized at the moment that I forgot my glasses, so I'm going to try to do this the best I can. Uh, we got Tito the Alien already checking in. How's it going, dude? And of course, Robert Monroe. Good evening, Rich, and my fellow coconuts. How you doing? Oh man. So we got a few new books on the list this week. And of course it's funny because it seems like every week we have a brand new straight up to number one. I think it's a third week in a row we've had a brand new number one straight up to the top. And I expect next week next week it might still be on the list, but it'll jump off the list real quickly. Hi Kenneth, how you doing tonight? So we're going to jump right into this list and show number 20 on the list. We have the Werewolf by Night Red Band 1 in 50, which is interesting because they've been 1 in 25s a lot lately. This is the first appearance of Elder Dorgana, which only means something, of course, if the character sticks around after these and the character is liked. But it is a 1 in 50. All the others are 1 in 25s. This one came out 2 weeks ago, it looks like. A lot of red bands there. Oh, yeah, that was the one that had the Saturday morning special one. Okay. So, highest raw was $126, and it is currently selling for about $80. Ouch. So, it's already down a third since that was a July 4th pre-sale, too. Wow. Okay, let's take a look at some of the sales data on that. Prices really are all over the place. Most recent sales, though, it looks like I see an 82, I see a 56, I see a 40, I see a 75, 79.97 for a near mint plus. So honestly, nothing really fantastic here to me. Come on, load up. Oh, it did rewind already. So I'm going to basically say this is something you should pass on. There's just been way too many of these red band ratio variants that the stores know to order enough of these that they get all their books. And it's not even a double ratio. I mean, some of the book sales I see are actually under ratio itself. So following JP's budget collecting's formula that he's done a lot of work to lay out for us. Thank you, sir. I'm going to assume that we should be staying away from this one also because it's just going to continue to drop in price. Number 19 on the list, we have Amazing Spider-Man 252, the newsstand. I don't know if the newsstand was in the list last time, but that's fine. This is the first appearance of Spider-Man in the black costume. This predates Marvel Team Up 141 and Spectacular Spider-Man number 90 by 2 weeks. This was the absolute first one, and I do remember seeing this one on the stands when it first came out. That nice homage to Amazing Fantasy number 15. Current trend down 20%. This is a book that will forever slowly go up in price. Highest known value, 2022, a 9.8 sold for $31.20. Now a sale just happened for $16.90. So basically half the price of what it was in 2022 for a 9.8 in a newsstand. That's the important part. 9.6 sold for $4.25, and really, really high grade raws, near mint plus raws going for $3.13. We have a regular near mint that just sold for $99, where the fair market value is at $127. That's odd because very fine fair market value is $158. I think this $99 is a mistaken listing. That looks more like the price for a direct sale, because I don't think that a near mint raw should be selling for $127. I think that would be more like $200 or higher based on just the look of the slabs. So I think that 20% is, that's pulling in that $99 raw. That's not correct. That's definitely a direct sale variant that got mislabeled and then pulled in by CovrPrice. Remember, CovrPrice is not dictating what is on the list here. They're not saying this is a hot book, this is a hot book, like say Comic Tom would do. What they're actually doing is just automatic, their computers automatically pull in the data. So if somebody mislists their book, there's an old computer adage, garbage in, garbage out. So if it gets bad data, it's going to give us bad data. So we try to use our noggins to see through it. Um, Based on that, I don't see that this book is down 20%. This is a book that will continue to stay up. Right now, there's been some um, news, I guess you'd say, that the next Spider-Man movie will start filming um, and be slated for July of 2026 release, which would put it right in between the two Avengers movies, Doomsday and Battleworld. So it'll probably be multiversal. It will probably have the three Spider-Men in it again, and not go the ground level hero, which I really thought it would be good if it did that. So, um, but we may get a crossover with Venom. So if we wind up with Spider-Man in the black costume, and if they're getting ready to start filming, if there's any leaked photos with him in the black costume, expect this book to skyrocket, at least temporarily. But right now, eh, it I think it's worth it in a 9.0, 9.2. Definitely not spending $1,600 on a book though. But if you can get a really nice looking 9.6 candidate for a crack press and reslab, I'd rather go for a 9.4. 9.4 and 9.2. Actually, that's what I did go for. So, haha. Number 18 on the list. We have Gambit's number 1, first solo series, first appearance of Kandra, first appearance of the Assassin's Guild. And if I remember correctly, I think Gambit, that foil is almost like raised lettering. I haven't seen that book in a while, but for some reason, that's what it's popping into my head. Or maybe that was the newsstand, one of the other variants. But anyway, 228 was the highest price for in 2021 for a 9.8. Now 188 when a fair market value is 154. And it's another one that's a little bit odd because I don't think it should be going that high. Let's look at the data here. 126, 125, 155. Yeah, that looks like that might be a reverse, a newsstand that got listed as a direct sale. How you doing, 25 Perez? So, yeah, a more sensible price on this, if you're looking for this book, should be more under 150. That 154 is pulled up from that 188 sale, which is another bit of bad information. I think 130 is a better price to try to find this book at if you're looking to get that in your collection. And again, this is the direct edition, not the newsstand. All right, next on the list we have the Power Fantasy second week in a row. Yeah, second week actually. Second week because I don't think it was on the very first week. This is issue number 1. This is that Chase issue, which I do actually right here in front of me. I've got a copy of it. I don't think that this book. I don't think it's going to be that. I don't know the ratio of it, how much it's out. If it's 1 to 1, 1 to 10, 1 to 10, 1 to 5, who knows? We're still waiting for more data on that. But the prices have dropped on this. The near mid just sold for $10. So as you can see, it did not hold the $30 value. I think the cover price. Well, I have to think what the cover price is. I got it right in front of me. Cover price is $4. So even still at 10, it's still up a little bit, but if the story is great and people come back to it, maybe it'll go up again. But it's had its day in the sun. I don't expect to see it on the list again next week, and you'll probably find it for more like 5 or 6. X-Men number 137 from 1980, The Death of Phoenix, first appearance of Warstar, Manta, Hussar, Raxor, and Beldan. Whatever plus whatever. I have no idea why this popped up on the list. The Death of Phoenix. 9.8 sold for $530 back in June. Most recent sale of 9.6 was just happened for $125, and real high grade raws for $46. Boy, I'd be going for the raws on this before anything else. Jeez. Highest grade known was almost $8,000 for a 9.9 in 2022. And this is a direct sale that popped up on the list. Don't know why. I mean, look at some of these prices. A fine will be 33 or a near mint for 46. Um, I'm gonna chip out that extra 13 bucks to jump it up from a 6.5 to a 9.4. And that is kind of like fair market value off. Very fines are 44. So um, shoot for that raw for 50 bucks before you go out and try and spend over 100 for uh, a slabbed book. You might get lucky and get yourself to something that 9.6 or that coveted 9.8. Who knows with the way they're grading these days, right? Daredevil number 183. This is the first Daredevil versus Punisher. This is because we're getting a little bit more news about the Daredevil series, The Born Again. We know that John Bernthal will be reprising his role every time a new Daredevil season on Netflix or a new Punisher season on Netflix came out, or even when they got back onto Disney Plus and came onto that streaming service. This book always has a spike. It's kind of like the Ghost Rider version of the Midnight Suns. Okay, as soon as somebody farts some news, this book shoots back up onto the list again. So highest known was just 2023, $400 for a 9.8. Now it's at 188, less than half the price, and that's just from the 23rd. You've got a 9.6 that just sold for 50, and Near Mint Plus Raws selling for 13. So I think that 188 is a very generous price, honestly. If you can buy those Near Mint 9.6 to 10.0 raws for 13, and it definitely that would be the way to go. This book right now is going based on the news of what's going on with the show. If we do get an episode where the two of them fight again, or God forbid, if Punisher actually shoots Daredevil, this book could have another spike. Power fantasy is interesting that my LCS had more of the chase covers than the cover B. I grabbed two of the chase covers, think they wouldn't go up in price, but because of that. Yeah, I mean, when I got mine, I didn't even ask. I had pre-ordered two books. That way I'd have one for the giveaway and one for myself. And when I got to my LCS, they're like, oh yeah, we got two different cover A's. They didn't even know it was a chase. So I got two different cover A's. They got equal amounts. So they gave me one of each. So I kept one and I put I guess the base cover A, which nobody took last week. Haha. But anyway, again, this is the Midnight Suns version of Daredevil, which means it pops up on the list every time somebody farts some news. So hang out on this one. Look for those really high grade raws. They're a bargain. Don't go for the graded ones. Remember, this is from 1982, so high grade raws, it's 42 years old. Next up, we've got X-Men 266, the second appearance of Gambit, first cover appearance. We've got Gambit that popped in, played by what's his face, Channing Tatum in the Deadpool and Wolverine movie. We know that we're going to be getting him as a main focus in X-Men 97 season 2, which, by the way, they're going to call that X-Men 98. I'd like to know that. But this book did spike up on here. It seems like it's holding its same value, $619 for a 9.8. 9.6 has gone up a little bit, $350. I see that. 9.4 is holding about the same value. High grade near mints on the raws, 208. Near mints 9094, 153. Definitely doing better on the high grade raws if you can. There's a lot of them. There is a lot of these books. This was 1990. They were printing them like they were going out of style, and it's pretty easy to find copies of this book. So haggle. Every dealer has got. Yeah, exactly. 21,000 for a 9.9. When was that? That was in 21. Oh, well, that 9.9 sold for 26,000 in 2021. And then later and then again for 21,000. 3 months later. So in 3 months, that person lost $5,000 on that book. That's why I don't want to buy 9.9s. And if I ever got one back from CGC, I'd be happy, but jeez. Uh yeah, again, I'd be looking for Raws on that one. Daredevil number 11, we have the first appearance of Muse. I think it's Daredevil 14 that has his first cover appearance. Um, really good storyline here. This is because we know Muse is coming. Muse is not, I don't think even Muse is cast yet for the show. But we know he's going to be one of the bad guys in the first 9-episode season. It's going to be a very interesting character. Don't get me wrong. I think it's going to be really cool to see him on screen if they portray him correctly. However, just remember, Muse is dead in the comics already. They didn't keep him around long in the comics. I don't see them keeping him around long in the TV series. So if you've got a couple of copies of this, I would hold on to it until they make they cast the actor, or maybe just until the trailer. And if you happen to see him in the trailer, boom, that's your time to sell that. But I still wouldn't put too much money in this book if you don't have to. 9.2 still selling for $40 back in July. 149 for a 9.6, 208 for a 9.8. That's too close a difference. And I'll tell you the truth. I think I got 3 copies of this and I sent them off for grading. I did not get a 9.8 on any of them. So 9.8s might be a little tougher to get. And that difference in price from 149 to 208, your better buy is to buy the 9.8 on that. Usually you're looking for at least double the price. Your really high grade Raws for 69. That was back in July. 75 for a near mint regular on the 23rd of this month. So again, 75 for what, if you're lucky, is going to be a $149 book. I think your 208 is your better buy. Hold it until the trailer drops. And if Muse is in the trailer, that's when you'll see the highest spike, and that's when you should sell it. New Mutants number 98, the man with bad feet. First appearance of Deadpool. Gideon too, isn't it? Highest price 2021 $4,050, now 9.8, $11.59. Got a little bit more of a resurgence to this. Was just coming under 1,000 when the movie first broke, but due to the movie's popularity, breaking $1 billion, people going and seeing it again, thinking if it's making that much money, Deadpool will be in future projects. Might not have his own movies, but it'll definitely be popping up for cameos all over the place, just like he does in the comic books. I think this book is getting a little bit more of a resurgence. Hang off on it now for about a month and a half, and it'll drop back down under 1,000. If you're looking for a 9.8, if you're looking for a lower grade, based on a fair market value, I guess I'd be shooting for that 9.0 around a 320 mark. Or an 8.0 for 375. You want to spend $50 more and get a lower grade, you can go right ahead. Raws, you've got Nearman Plus is selling for $315, which is not bad, because if you think that book is a 9.6 to a 10, let's just say you send it in. If you get your 9.8, $11.59, 9.6, $471, 9.4, $400, $380. As long as it's higher than a 9.0, it's still worth it for the cost of grading and shipping. Unless you make a mistake on your idea of what grade it is, that really high grade raw might be a better way to go, and then just have it graded yourself. 2 more to go, and then we're at the halfway point. We've got Amazing Spider-Man number 194, first appearance of the Black Cat. And I got one of these, and I'm not seeing it. Usually it'll tell me I have it right here, but I don't see it. I have one. It's not the greatest grade. I think it's like a 5 or something. It's odd. I'm gonna have to go find out why it's not showing up on my list. So we got 9.8 selling for $2,000. Ooh, 1980. 9.9 sold for $52,000. How about that one, Hector? Love me some Deadpool. Absolutely. I thought the movie was pretty decent. I'd give it like a 7.5. But I did love the cameos. It was total fan service, which is what I knew it was going to be and what I wanted. So um, I wasn't expecting a Civil War, Winter Soldier quality story, or or I was expecting to, you know, Fast and the Furious and cheer and have fun. So, and I got what I wanted. So, all right. So the first appearance of Black Cats, I haven't seen Black Cats. I'm surprised that they have not capitalized on her in the Sonyverse. I'll be honest about that. They seem to be capitalizing about everything else. I like movie two. It was a little weird, but very funny. Yeah. And being as, I mean, Hugh Jackman is over 50. I'm over 50. I can tell you right now, I can't imagine the willpower it took him to get in shape the way he did. Okay. Okay. Just saying. I ain't got that kind of willpower. Not happening. So kudos to him. Um, if Black Cat comes to the Spider Verse, that can be really, really major for this book. So 9.6 just sold for $1,000. Um, wow, 9.6 is sold for the same price as a 9.8 of First Appearance of Deadpool. I mean, granted, it's in a much older book. It's 1979. Great cover, tough to get in that high grade, and this is actually showing the direct sale. The direct sale, even though it has the barcode, you've got that line through it. That line through it means that that is a direct sale. A newsstand will not have the line through the barcode. It would be scannable. So this is a much rarer book at this time. Uh, I wouldn't mind having one of these, but I wouldn't go spending $1,000 on it. Again, I do have one somewhere, and I don't know why it's not showing on my list. I think, 9.2, 375, or even a 7.5 for 187. You want to keep it under $200. It's not terrible. You can still get a one that really presents well. As far as raw, very fine, 7.0 to 8.5 for 198. It's okay. You can get some nice looking book on this one. And the fact that she's on the cover is really, really great on this. This is a great book to have. And I think we got one more 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. No, that's the halfway point. Oh, awesome. We have made it to the halfway point. 1979 is a great year. Let me guess. That's the year you were born. A check with a lot of O's gives people the willpower to get in shape. Zeros. Yes. Uh, yeah. Yeah. I hear that. I'm sure his wife didn't mind, though. Let's be honest. All right, so I'm going to take this moment to say thank you to our Patreon and our YouTube members. Remember, Patreon members, our meetup is this Saturday. We're going to be giving away and some comic books during our probably hour long just get together, talk about things, what's going on in our lives, how we're doing. Just it's a hangout. It's all it is, just a hangout. We have some fun. So please, if you'd like to come and join, if you just want to find out what it's like, make sure just go to the Patreon. You can join as a free tier. And you're welcome to join us in the chat. You won't be eligible to get free books. I mean, maybe I'll have one or two good drinks and I'll give you one anyway. I don't know. But but come on in and just hang out and talk with us. Why not? Just get yourself a camera and a microphone ready and be part of the group chat. But everybody, I want to say thank you to everybody who helps keep this channel running. And in case you're wondering who they are, this is who they are. All right, we're going to be hitting that top 10 now. And I load up number 10 and I'm like, of course, well, sure, why not? You've got the infamous Iron Man number 1. First appearance of Victor Von Doom as Iron Man and Tony Stark AI. I think you got a better chance of having the Tony Stark AI in the Ironheart series than anything else. I don't think I think it's already been debunked that this is not a multiverse version of Tony Stark becoming Doctor Doom. I think in an interview, I think I read that in an interview, Robert Downey Jr. said no, he is playing Victor Von Doom. So I mean, there have been actors that play two different characters in the MCU. I mean, we got Josh Brolin playing Cable and Thanos. So I mean, it's possible. All right, so what do we got here? Prices have come down a little bit less, 211. Back on July 31st, this was hitting 300 for a 9.8. Now we're at 211. So see, it's coming down again. It's going to get back down to those numbers that it was pre-crazy news. 9.6 is for 130, 9.4 is for 140. The 130 was after the 140, so that's showing that the lower grades is also starting to drop. Near Mint Plus Raws 65, Near Mint Regulars 35. This book is coming down. It's going Mayday, Mayday. Can you say if this is on the list if this is on the list next week, I think we're going to be under 200 for that 9.8, and I don't see anything that's going to save this book. Now, if you could find, I wouldn't even bother with a 9.8, honestly. I'd just be looking for a really nice cover and try to find any place, maybe a CGC signing, maybe there'll be some major show. I don't know. But if you could get Robert Downey Jr.'s signature on that book, that would look cool as hell. Come on. Look at that. You got Iron Man and Dr. Doom. That's with all that big black patch there. That is begging for a golden signature by Robert Downey Jr. Somehow there's got to be a way of getting it. If there is a signing ever announced with Robert Downey Jr., this book will skyrocket again. But right now, it's on its way down. It's not all the way down yet. It has more to go. Secret Wars, number 8, the origin of the black costume, which later becomes Venom. So theoretically, this is like, no, it's not Venom's first appearance. That was something 252. All right, so what do we got here? This is a direct sale. It's on the list. 9.9 sold in 2021 for $16,000. Since then earlier this year, it sold for $10,800 because wow, somebody paid $16,000 for a 9.9, knowing that there's a 10 out there. Although that 10 may be a CBCS or a PGX, it would get pulled into this list also. All right, so let's get into it. 555, which is right about fair market value for 9.8. Super high grade raws. Wow. I don't know. That might be a bad listing. The raws, it's kind of hard because that's whatever person puts in the listing. He might say, this is a perfect 10. You need to see it. You send it off, it comes back a 7. But fair market value of a 9.6 to 10 raw is 393, and it says one just sold for 143. Near mint, 186, just sold for 149. So maybe some of the raws are coming to market in silver for sure. Oh, okay. Yeah, the autograph. Gold. Well, gold could be for Iron Man, silver for Doctor Doom. Now imagine if you could get him to do it with like Robert in gold and Downey Jr. in silver, kind of like the way like the Infinity signature. There's no way he would take the time to switch markers. I get that, but dang, gold or silver, I'd go either one, or even Hot Rod red. All right, the high grade raws I think are a pretty good price, pretty good pickup on this book. There's still, again, there's a lot of them. By the time this book came out, and I'm going by history here, I remember when 252 came out and looking at the newsstands, and like, I always look for certain characters, Spider-Man, of course, being one of them. I was reading Spectacular Spider-Man. I was reading the Marvel team ups. I was reading, of course, Amazing Spider-Man. anytime I saw a book with Spider-Man in another book, I would on the cover I would pick that up. And I remember like scanning and going past Amazing Spider-Man because I saw that black costume and it didn't click that that was Spider-Man. And then I was looking a second time, I noticed the spider on the chest. Like, wait, what the heck? So it freaked me out when I saw, and it had to do like a double take to pick up Spider-Man 252. Now, forward a few months, everybody knew at this point that Spider-Man was wearing a black costume, and we were dying to find out the origin of it. And in the comics for Amazing Spider-Man, it had the little asterisk, and it said, origin in Secret Wars. Tune into Secret Wars to find out. So when this book hit the stands, it was just like stores ordered a bunch of these. Everybody was buying it. People were buying multiple copies of it. There's a lot of them. Okay. um. So, but even still, we read the heck out of these books. I'd go over that high grade raw again. And there's no specific news right now other than the fact that we got Venom movie coming out soon. Um, could be driving this a little bit, but I don't think too much. If we wind up with Venom in the Secret Wars Avengers movie, oh boy, all bets are off. It's not gonna go down too much. It may go down a little bit after the Venom movie is out, but this is still such an iconic book. It has value with not being driven by news. Here's the regular Power Fantasy. This is issue number 1, and it's interesting to see this one on the list and not the 1 in 25 and everything. And it's higher up than the Chase. Yeah, it's interesting seeing that this book has gotten up on the list more than the one per store. That's the only two Power Fantasies that made the list: the Chase and the regular. The other ones have all fallen off the list. Pre-sales of 9.8 selling for 50. That's really nothing fantastic. But that was back in July. And it looks like the regular copies of cover A are selling for 10. I don't think that that's going to hold. I think that's going to drop. As stated, it's an interesting story, but I think this is an 8-part series or a 5-part series. It's, again, the book's right in front of me. Let's see if it says anything. Not that I see. I don't. It's a story of 5 people, which are mysteriously all get superpowers equivalent with enough power equivalent to destroy the planet. Now the question is, how are they going to use them? I think it's going to be like Don't Look Up, and they actually destroy the planet in the last issue. So boom, no more Earth. Aha. Okay. I think this book is going to drop back down to cover price. I really don't think it's going to hold. Next up, Avengers number 55, the first appearance of Ultron. Why? Because James Spader is going to be coming back in the Vision series, which is gaining steam. This is actually going to happen, and it's not going to be. The word is that Ultron is coming back in the Vision series along with Wanda, and James Spader has been locked up to play Ultron in the Vision series, and it's going to be a major role. So, how they're going to reintroduce him will be very interesting. We'll see, and I think we're also going to see some West Coast Avenger action. But I liked James Spader's Ultron. I liked that character. And to see more of him, I'm really looking forward to that. But okay, so now we got Spike News on this. Boy, I really wish I'd purchased this book a month ago, 2 months ago, a year ago. A 9.4 sold in June for $450. Trying to see most recent sales. There you go, $59 for a 5.0 to 6.05, 6.5 fine. All right, that's not terrible. I don't see any recent sales. 2,400 for a 9.8. Well, you can dictate your own price if you have a 9.8 of a 1960s book. Here's an 8.5 for 165 that just sold 2 days ago. That's not bad. I kind of like that price. I don't know if you're going to find that now that the word has gotten out that Spader's coming back. But again, this is August of 1968. So, uh, as not Dagger, now it's my turn to say 1968 is a great year. um, I think if you can find that 8.5, 9.0 number for around the 160 to $200 mark, that might be a pretty good investment. But I think that boat may have sailed already at this point. Jason jumping in. How's it going, sir? How's the little cheerleader doing tonight? Sorry, cheer captain. Cheer captain. And Jason jumping in too. Stinker Buns, I got your package in today. We will be discussing it during the get together on Saturday. Can't wait to hear Spader's voice as Ultron in the theaters again. Yes, I think there's going to be a series though. The Vision. I think it's going to be a series on Disney Plus. I don't know if he's going to be in the movies. Just get yourself a good set of headphones. That's all. X-Men number 251. Now that Stinker Buns has watched the movie, I can talk about it. Really, really great scene in the Deadpool and Wolverine movie. Did not have any bearing on the storyline. Just they depicted this cover perfectly in one of the scenes. It was really breathtaking. I'm glad they did. Prices still continue to go up a little bit on this. $350 now for a 9.8. 9.6 at 165. Near mint plus raws at 71. I'd go for a raw, but I'm not spending $350 on this book in a 9.8. It's a 1989 book. There's a lot of them. It's the early November. Remember, this is when they were printing two issues a month. It was bi-weekly. So storylines really were not great, and the paper quality wasn't that great either. But still, it is a great cover. Next on the list, we've got Daredevil number 181, The Death, quote unquote, of Elektra. This is a great cover. This was a big story when it first came out. We did not know. It says one wins, one dies. We're like, yeah, sure, whatever. And then when Elektra died at the end, we're like, are you kidding me? I remember reading this one. Whoa. Couldn't believe that they killed off such a major character. Well, nobody dies, stays dead in the comic book. So April in 2024, 9.9 sold for 10,200. Yikes. Wow. 9.8s of this book, 108. Almost under $100 for 9.8 of The Death of Elektra. 1982. A 42-year-old book. I think that that's worth it. Well, yeah, a lot of people bought it. A lot of people bought it. Near mint raws, $36. Near mint plus, probably about $45.50. But yeah, 108 for a 9.8. A little bit of haggling, maybe 100. I'd be looking for that. I could go for that. It's a double size. That's not a bad price for that older book, that key of a book. Very heavily printed, but still. I like that. Deadpool issue number 31, first full appearance of Ellie Camacho, the daughter of Wade Wilson, aka Deadpool. Again, this is the third or fourth week this book is on the list, and not only on the list, but trending high on the top 10 part. 9.8s climbed up a little bit here to 175. 9.6 is at 84. It was at 250 back on August 1st. Now I saw selling for 167, 175. Demon Plus Raws selling for 20. So whatever it was that made this book hot is cooling off quickly, and it's on its way back down. It's got some more to go. Once it starts this dive, it continues. All right, so coming up on the top three. Here's number 3. We have the unbelievable Gwenpool number 1. This is a regular issue from 2016. Cool cover. I did like it. I just don't understand why it was so hot. We've got Near Mint Plus Raws selling for 10 as of the 18th. Near Mint regular selling for 14. Same price, same ballpark, I guess you'd say. And 9.8's selling for 100. I don't know why Gwenpool was high. Maybe that was another alternate ending that they they scrapped or whatever. I don't know, but I, I don't see that this has any real reason to collect it. That's the whole thing. It's not a first appearance, or it's just weird. It really is just weird. So, I mean, if it's something that you like and you want to spend $100 on it for a 9.8, sure money, do what you want. Me personally, it's like the ultimate meh. Coming up at number 2 on the list, we have the Wolverine Revenge Red Band 1 in 25. Here's another one of these wonderful things here. This just came out last week. Okay, so it's a 1 in 25. And we have Raws that were selling for 75, now selling for 40. Pre-sale July 12th, somebody paid 75. Yesterday, one sold for 40. A very fine sold for 27. Others got down to a very fine already. I don't know, must have gotten damaged in shipment. But $40. So it's not even double ratio. Because Wolverine Revenge stores, I guarantee you, ordered so many copies of these things that they probably have 2 or 3 copies of the 1 in 25 per store anyway. So it's going to come down even more. All right. And then we hit the number 1 spot, a brand new book on the list, Crossed, issue number 0. Now, I had to do a little bit of checking into this myself. This is a Garth Ennis book, and it's being greenlit for a full movie adaptation. Remember, this is the same guy that created The Boys, but I don't know if it's going to be linked to The Boys, but it is, as much as The Boys is a different type of superhero story, this is a different type of zombie story. Now, I don't know if it's going to be moving into the movie theaters, or if it's going to be like an Amazon or a Netflix movie. I don't have a clue. What I can say is the day that when they first announced that it's being greenlit for a movie, it shoots up, as you see here, number 1 on the list. Then they have to get their screenplay. They have to get their actors. They have to start, to pick set locations. Screenplay. Yeah, I said the screenplay already. This movie won't be out until 2026 at the earliest. And between now and the trailer is a lot of dead time that nobody's going to be talking about it, and this book will go back down. So July 24th, a 9.8 hits $375. It's the highest known price on that. Near mint plus Raws selling for 40. Near mint regular selling for 42. These are all within the last couple of days. Very fine selling for 24. I used to read Cross, but it started to be too much for me, and I can handle a lot of gross stuff. Yeah, this is like The Boys is over the top. This is zombies over the top. Yeah. So again, is this going to be in the movie theaters, or is this going to be on Amazon or Netflix? I don't know. The Boys will end after season 5. That's confirmed. So maybe they're going to, a year after that, then this will come on the same onto Amazon. 9.8 sold for $375 back in 2023. As I see that not only is the highest sale, but as the last sale. So there have been no 9.8 sales. Probably because there's not that many out there not that many graded copies. If you can find a Near Mint Plus raw for $40, it would probably do you well. I see a 9.4 just sold for $215. So any of these high grade raws for the $40 range is probably going to be a bargain. Because if they're paying $215 now for a 9.4, those prices are going to go up before they come down. So if you could pick up a couple of copies of those Near Mint raws, and as this for the next 2 weeks goes up, then sell it. Then wait a couple months for it to drop back down again, then buy it again if you want to flip like crazy. But the raws is the only way to go on this. Stay away from the slab. They're going to be way overpriced. Any book that just appears on the top list, the hot list at number 1. But that is the list. So now I've got my 2 picks to make. I have to make my pick for my gun to the head pick, which one I think is the best investment based on current prices. So if there's any book, I think personally, I think most of these books will decrease once they drop off the hot list. But if I had to buy one on this list at current prices, trying not to lose money, maybe even trying to gain a little bit, which one would I pick? That would be my gun to the head. The one that I think is the absolute worst pick based on today's prices will be my rubber band to the butt. uh yeah, I see a couple of rubber band to the butt choices. See a couple of decent picks for gun to the head. I'm actually going to go out on a book that is probably already spiking a little bit, but I don't think you can really go wrong with Silver Age Avengers in high grade. I just I just don't, especially since 1968 was such a great year. Um if I see the last sales here 165, 160 for a 9.0 or an 8.5. If I found one, and I may look after this show, but if I found one in like 160 for a 9.0 first appearance of Ultron, and it, off off white to white pages, I don't want straight up off white, or the word cream better not appear. Um, and I would love that cover to really look white, because you can see how it looks yellowish. And that's one of the things that I don't like about the books as they get a little older. You have no choice, obviously, but um, you get a really nicely presenting 9.0 for 160 or even 180, anything under 200 for a 9.0. I would take that. That would be my gun to the head pick. I would take that book. Now, what book would I choose to be my rubber band to the butt? Uh, for me, it's going to be something red bandish. I'm probably going to go with number 20. And it's not too high on the list, but it is a 150. But it's already selling for 1.5 times ratio. So I think this is actually going to drop at least 50% and be down to $40 within a couple of months. So I think this is actually one of the worst ones as far as investment wise that you can get. If you want the red band, just buy the regular red band. Don't worry about a specific color cover, because none of these, other than the original one that sparked the whole thing, is really going to have any value in the long run. And that, my friends, is the Cover Price Top 20 list for August 26, 2024. Waha! All right, so I'm going to wrap this up so I could try to get a little bit of rest. Remember, this weekend, Saturday, is the Patreon meetup. If you're a YouTube member and you'd like to join us also, shoot me a message on Team Ohana Family, and I'll gladly send you the link as well. Love to have you there, please. But that's about it, except Rob's Fat Sacks of Comics, C3. I'm still seeing more and more great books entering the auction there. And it looks like I have been moved up due to a cancellation. So I will be on Only Slabs. And I think he said September 28th. I got to confirm that date with him. So really looking forward. So instead of being in November, it will be in September. And I think it's actually the Saturday before C3. Uh, yes, please. Well, I believe I got thumbs up from both Stinkerbuns and Robert. Jason, come on, come on in, join the fun. Everybody, come on in. Oh, cool. Yes, I actually received a book in yesterday. No, I opened it yesterday. I bought a raw, big time raw, very low grade raw. And it went off the CGC this morning. I'm hoping for a 0.5 blue label. I may get a 0.5 restored. Okay. And this is still, for me, one of the major keys. I'm trying to get it back in time for Rob's show so I can debut it on that show. Cross your fingers, cross your fingers. I had to send it out for unlimited value, which is a 3-day turnaround. All right. So, guys, I want to say thank you again for joining. Please like, subscribe. Don't forget to click on those notifications. Wednesday, new comic book day live stream. If you haven't registered yet to win the books for giveaway, make sure you go to last week's replay and make sure you subscribe, like, and drop a comment. It could be just the word hi. It gets you in it, and you'll get a chance to win either cash or books, your choice. So I will see you guys on Wednesday. And until I do, though, mahalo.